first is the issue about self-help groups. I will not say a lot about this. I will say more about the second issue. Anyway, we are very, very devoted to the promotion of self-help groups. There are around 30 here in Voices groups. I should say, I should have sent him to the hospital. It wasn't really possible to think this. Most of the groups are within the National Health Service, so our intention is also to promote the development and to have more groups outside of the system, and also to do something to train peer supporters and to make possible for voice hearers to become facilitators in the groups. And I'm sure that that Emanuela, who is here with me, she's a member of our self-help group, will become a very good facilitator in the future, because she really wants to do this. Now let's talk a little bit about an issue that for me as a psychiatrist, and I think for everyone for different reasons, is an hot issue: psychiatric medications. Trying to be grounded and trying to start for those two questions. How long? We're interested in find out how long it's useful to take or to prescribe, on the other side, psychiatric medications, especially neuroleptics, and how to come off. The psychiatrist has some training. There is something written about how to start giving psychiatric medication, but very few things about how to come off, how to stop. So the idea behind it seems that it's you have to take this forever. We are looking for evidence-based answers. Using the words evidence-based, I'm aware that I'm walking on a narrow path, because I don't mean evidence-based medicine. This is a different thing in my mind. I think that the evidence-based we are looking for is the one rooted in everyone's personal experience. And so we all have different stories, and every one of us can bring his precious and unique experience and expertise. And I think that from this it will be possible for everyone to have the tools necessary to draw the map for his or their recovery journey. I know there are, and I'm talking about psychiatric drugs, remember. There are already some good maps. I've seen that there is here the map drawn by Will Hall and Oryx Cohen, Icarus Project, but about how to come off psychiatric medications. But the best map is the one you have drawn by yourself, or better, together with the ones you're traveling with. You will never lose this map. You will not need to protect it from rain. Low batteries will not be a problem. We have had a difficult experience yesterday with our TomTom navigator in Thessaloniki, because we only had to trust on it, on this technical stuff. We don't have any personal experience. I had some memories of the time I was in Thessaloniki 15 years ago, but it wasn't really a lot useful. So our plan is more or less this one. Is a three-steps plan. At the beginning, we have a research committee. It's a very important word in the network. It's simply a group of people, experts by experience, professionals and researchers that can share together their knowledges to do research. So our research committee will prepare a sort of toolbox, a list of suggested papers on the issue of psychiatric medications, and especially on the point of how to come off. Then we have in mind to organize some workshops in different parts of Italy, and everyone who has a personal experience could come and bring his experience. And finally, the last step should be a national consensus conference somewhere. I know, we know that this is not an easy plan. It needs time, energy, and also some money, which is always a problem. But it's possible even to complicate it if you will give us your help. Why don't do the same things in other countries and have an international consensus conference at the end? I will talk about this at the end of this month in Wales. There is a conference run by the International Mental Health Collaborating Network, and I hope that I will find someone interested in it. There is a scientific committee, okay. Oh, these are some considerations about why participatory research should be useful in the field of mental health. I think you should better read, if it's possible, rather than I will read for you. It's big enough for you? A psychiatrist maybe will explain me why I like so much buttons. I don't know. Can I go on? This is for the end. Because I don't think I'm the one that I'm really tired of reading papers on psychiatric drugs based on laboratory data or on a sample of patients who are in the hospital and with outcome measures that are only quantitative rating scales. We, and I mean all of us and our friends and colleagues, have an incredible amount of scientific knowledges that are rooted in our personal experience, and we can make a good use of it. And to the end, these are some words from an American United States psychiatrist who has two Cherokee grandparents. And he wrote, we use statistics to talk about disease as if we're independent of the people who have it and their stories. The so-called natural history approach is grounded in the idea that the patient and the family and the culture have no relevance. So I hope that we will find a way to make research starting, rooted, grounded in our lives. We will keep on telling our stories. And so let's write together a different story. Thank you very much. Someone knows who is this small animal? It's very important. Find by yourself.
Thank you, Marcello. And now the questions.
Hello, thank you for your speech. I want to ask you two things. Okay, if in your work you are in any way, and in which way, if you are influenced by the work of Basaglia in the Italian movement of yeah. And the second question is more personal. If it has happened to have watched the Italian film La Meglio Gioventù, okay, yeah, in which I believe the model of psychiatry is in its best form.
I think that I have decided to become a psychiatrist because when I was young, the so-called Basaglia revolution was working. So I think I was very much influenced by it. But I arrived on late, because I'm always on late. And also that time I arrived on late. Franco Basaglia was an Italian psychiatrist who was the director of the psychiatric hospital of Gorizia and Trieste in the northeast part of Italy, and who was able to change the mental health act. It was a new mental health act in Italy in 1978, the so-called 180 law, which closed the psychiatric hospitals, or better, made no more possible for new people to get in, and it took 20 years to discharge the thousands that were inside. But the problem, it's my personal opinion, of course, the problem for Italian psychiatrists, as I have told yesterday very shortly, is that because of this experience, we pretend to the professionals, the psychiatrists especially, to think that we have done the job, that we are better than the others, even about medication. We pretend to say that we use them in a wise way, we use them at low dosages rather than the Americans or the UK psychiatrists. Maybe it's true in some cases, but when you ask to the average Italian psychiatrist how many patients you are working with have stopped their medication, or how many of your patients do you think they could stop or lower the dosage in the next year? I think he will not be able to give you an answer, will not give you a number. So there is a good job, a great job to do in this field. La Meglio Gioventù, it's a good movie, very, very nice.
Well, thank you for talking about your movement and the activist movement, late 70s in Italy. I'd like to make a comment about this. I would like to say that during the 90s we had these chains in Spain. The result was that there were less help for people who need it in the psychiatric hospitals, and there were no beds actually. And some years now we have these chains. I'm Greek and I was working in Spain. Now we have these chains in Greece, some years now. We start thinking that it was going to be a great change. And when they give us this kind of change, I think that the activist stops. And that's what happened. So I think now we're really lucky because we have crisis and we start being activist again. That's my idea about what happens. I would like to ask you if you are, actually we're talking about what we call qualitative research, and the kind one that it's narrative qualitative research. Is that like, yeah?
Yes, it's also research based on narratives, but research project with let's say, a research committee composed by all the stakeholders, service users or patients or consumers or family members, professionals. They will prepare the research, the protocollo in Italian, the protocol maybe. There are many useful things here and there to look at, but I'm really convinced that the best way to do research is start with a group of people who will meet in a room and say, why are we interested in doing a research? Which kind of outcomes are we looking for? And how it's possible to measure that? Because sometimes I think it's a person many of us have had, we see research that pretends to measure nothing, with complicated rating scales, maybe not only quantitative, also qualitative, but which does not, are not related with personal experience.
Γεια σας. Συγγνώμη. Ήθελα να ρωτήσω, εγώ έχω ψύχωση και παίρνω φάρμακα και όταν είπατε ότι για τη μείωση το σταμάτημα με ενθουσίασε, θα ήθελα να μου δώσετε περισσότερες πληροφορίες για το πώς μπορεί να γίνει αυτό. Σας ευχαριστώ.
I think I could give you some information, but absolutely not useful for your personal experience. I think that Emanuela, for instance, who is on medication, who has a personal experience on reducing medications, could tell you something more if she wish. I will explain what I'm saying because she's not, or Antonella could explain her. Ask to your friends, ask to your doctor, ask to anyone you trust. There must be someone around you who has faith in you and you have faith in them. So I think anyone who has this goal does not have to ask to people who are coming from a different country or abroad. The answer is around us.
Θέλετε να πείτε κάτι? Do you want to say something? Θέλω να πω κάτι εγώ σε σχέση με την ερώτηση του φίλου. Μπορείτε να μεταφράζετε? Λοιπόν, στην Θεσσαλονίκη λειτουργεί από το Παρατηρητήριο για τα Δικαιώματα στον χώρο της ψυχικής υγείας που οργανώνει και αυτό το συνέδριο, εδώ και αρκετά χρόνια, μία ομάδα που λέγεται Δίκτυο Υποστήριξης Ανθρώπων που θέλουν να διακόψουν τα ψυχοφάρμακα. Υπάρχουν συγκεκριμένα επεξεργασμένα εργαλεία υποστήριξης του καθενός από αυτούς που θέλουν να το προσπαθήσουν, μέσα από προσωπική σχέση με μέλη του παρατηρητηρίου, και στα πλαίσια αυτά έχει βγει και ένα βιβλίο το οποίο υπάρχει έξω και λέγεται «Βγαίνοντας από τα ψυχοφάρμακα», όπου περιγράφονται συγκεκριμένες εμπειρίες ανθρώπων που έχουν βγει από αυτά, τις δυσκολίες τους, τους δρόμους από τους οποίους πέρασαν κλπ. Θα συμφωνήσω με τον Μαρτσέλο ότι είναι μια πολύ προσωπική πορεία, δεν πρέπει σε καμία περίπτωση να γίνει ξαφνικά, γιατί υποβάλλει τον εγκέφαλο του καθενός σε ένα τρομακτικό στρες και πολύ πιθανό να οδηγήσει σε δυσκολίες για τη διακοπή. Όμως ειδικά στη Θεσσαλονίκη υπάρχει αυτή τη στιγμή, υπάρχουν αρκετή βοήθεια για κάποιον που θέλει. Έξω στα φυλάδια του παρατηρητηρίου μπορείτε να πάρετε και να ενημερωθείτε. Υπάρχουν τηλέφωνα, υπάρχουν ονόματα. Η ώρα έχει περάσει. Υπάρχει κάποιος που θέλει επειγόντως να πει κάτι? Do you want to say something? Because the time... Please. Can you go to the microphone? Thank you.
Small self-help group on voices, and she's one of the reasons I'm interested, and the network is interested in the issue of psychiatric medications. Because she started, she's very, how can I say, boring in some ways. She always asks, if you don't give her a useful reply, she asks again. So she started to say, I want to lower my medication. So now she will tell you why she has this goal. Perché vorrei riuscire?
Cioè, poche volte sto assumendo dei psicofarmaci che sono un sonnifero, un gatto protettore, neurolettico e I'm taking Leponex che non so cos'altro. I'm taking some neuroleptics too, and benzodiazepine and medicine for the stomach. Praticamente ora ridurre i farmaci perché non mi più stiate convinto che l'Eponex non faccia peggiorare le voci.
My psychiatrist, not me, has the idea that Leponex, the clozapine, is useful for control or reducing the voices.
Mentre in realtà mi intontisce e sono sempre vedo tutto rosa e non piglio pesci, cioè non riesco a dare un senso alla mia vita dal punto di vista di una persona normale o una paziente psichiatrica.
But in fact, what this drug, the effects on me is that nothing about voices. Voices are still the same. I found out different ways to cope better with voices. Clozapine simply sedate me and interfere with my everyday life and makes difficult for me to have a fulfilling life, the life I like to have. L'Eponex ti impedisce di fare le cose che vorresti fare. Quali sono le cose che vorresti fare?
Che vorrei fare? Cioè, innanzitutto vorrei essere un po' più attiva come persona, perché questo intontimento mi impedisce di stare sempre sveglia, perché il problema principale è che ho sempre sonno.
I should like to be more active with the dosage I'm taking of these drugs. I sleep too much. Dovrei essere più sveglio.
Sì. C'è anche mio parente, che è mio zio, che si arrabbia sempre con me, che vuole che faccia le cose, che mi muova, che faccia avanti e là. E io gli ho detto, dimmi qualcosa da fare e lo faccio.
For instance, there is an uncle of mine who is always telling me, move, do things, but it's difficult for me. I'm telling him, can you suggest me something? Cosa vorresti fare?
Adesso in progetto c'è un corso di computer di base e si stanno muovendo un po' le acque, forse anche la possibilità di fare un altro corso di facilitatore per portare la mia esperienza con computer di voci.
So at the moment I also should like to, I've applied, I will start soon a course about computer and also hopefully I will start a training course to become a facilitator, and this is a goal I should really like a lot to achieve, to bring my personal experience to other people who had my problems.